A woman went to pick up her washing from the laundromat, only to find it was all ruined. But when she checked the security footage, she found out that the person responsible was someone she never expected. The woman was getting ready for work. Her clothes were wrinkled and needed to be washed. So she gathered them up and headed to the local laundromat. She didn't have a washer and dryer at home, so this was the only way she could get her clothes clean. She tossed her clothes into the washing machine and started the cycle. Then she sat down on one of the nearby chairs and pulled out her phone. She planned on spending some time playing a game before her laundry was done. But little did she know, disaster was waiting for her when the cycle finished. When the machine dinged, signaling that the wash cycle was over, the woman got up and moved to the dryer. She took the wet clothes out of the machine and placed them in the dryer. As she closed the door, she heard a loud crash. The glass window on the front of the dryer had just fallen out. Startled, the woman screamed and ran out of the laundromat. She couldn't believe what had happened. But then she quickly regained her composure. It wasn't that big of a deal. All she had to do was wait for the manager to come and fix the machine. Then she would just take her clothes home and wash them again. But when the manager arrived and looked in the dryer, his face fell. "Oh my God," he whispered, rushing to the woman. "I'm so sorry, but your clothes are ruined." Confused, the woman asked what he meant. The manager pointed at the clothes inside the dryer. "They're soaking wet," he said. "Looks like someone turned the dryer off before the cycle was finished." He explained that the water had nowhere to drain and had filled up the drum instead. Now the clothes were completely soaked. The woman couldn't believe it. Who would do such a thing? And more importantly, why? Before she could say anything, though, the manager held up a hand. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll dry your clothes for free, and we'll figure something else out for you. I'm really sorry about this." Relieved, the woman thanked the manager. He was a lifesaver. But still, she couldn't help but wonder who would ruin her clothes like this. When the manager left to get her clothes dried, the woman decided to check the security footage to see if she could get a good look at the culprit. Maybe then she would know who did this and why. But when she reviewed the tape, her jaw dropped. She knew that person. It was someone she trusted. Someone had sabotaged her. But who and why? The woman had been best friends with Brittany since they were teenagers. They did everything together, from going shopping to attending each other's birthday parties. Their friendship was unbreakable, or at least that's what the woman thought. Lately, though, things had been different. Brittany had become jealous of the woman's new boyfriend, Kevin. Every time the woman had gone out with Kevin, Brittany had acted more and more sullen. Sometimes she would even lash out and say mean things. The woman had tried to talk to her friend about it, but Brittany wouldn't listen. She would just walk away, leaving the woman confused. Was this really their friendship? As the days passed, Brittany's behavior became worse and worse. One day the woman decided enough was enough, and she deserved a better friend than someone who would act like a child and throw tantrums. She told Brittany that if she couldn't control herself, then maybe they should take a break from their friendship. Brittany didn't take it well. She accused the woman of being a bad friend and cutting her off just because she was upset. Since then, Brittany hadn't spoken to the woman, and now it was clear why. She had deliberately ruined the woman's clothes. But why? Brittany worked at the laundromat as a way to earn extra money. She liked having a part-time job where she could make money while doing something mindless. Plus, her mother owned the business and would pay her more than anyone else. When Brittany clocked in for her shift, she saw the woman coming in and carrying a large basket full of clothes. She watched as the woman put her clothes in the washing machine and walked away to play on her phone. An idea popped into Brittany's head. What if she could get back at the woman by sabotaging her clothes during the wash cycle? It would be a quick and easy way to get revenge. And if she did it right, no one would ever find out. As the wash cycle began, Brittany snuck over to the machine and reached inside. She grabbed a handful of quarters and emptied them into the bottom of the drum. Then she pulled out her phone and waited. When the wash cycle finished, the woman would empty the coins and start the dryer. That's when Brittany would make her move. She waited patiently, watching the clock until finally the woman walked away. She wasted no time. She rushed over to the washing machine and pulled out the quarters. Then she emptied them onto the counter. Just as the woman came back, Brittany hid behind some laundry baskets. She peeked out and saw the woman dumping her wet clothes into the dryer. It was time for step 2. She ran over to the dryer and reached for the knob. She twisted it, and the dryer made a loud noise as it stopped working. Brittany felt a surge of triumph. It was done. She had successfully ruined the woman's clothes. But then she heard a loud crash. She whipped around and saw that the glass panel on the front of the dryer had fallen out. Startled, Brittany screamed and ran out of the laundromat. She had no idea that the woman had witnessed the whole thing. On the security footage, Brittany had made one fatal mistake. She'd been wearing her work uniform, and the cameras had caught her face clearly. Now, after seeing the footage, the woman knew exactly what she had to do. She needed to confront Brittany and get some answers. But first, she needed to call Kevin. When Kevin arrived at the laundromat, the woman explained what had happened. He listened patiently, his eyes narrowing in anger. He knew Brittany and had met her several times before. She had always been nice to him, which made her actions even more puzzling. After reviewing the security footage, Kevin and the woman went back to hers. They needed to get her clothes washed again, and then it was time for a girls' talk. The woman knocked on Brittany's door. She was nervous, but she knew she needed to talk to her friend. Brittany opened the door and gasped when she saw the two people standing there. "Can I help you?" she asked suspiciously. The woman stepped forward and looked into Brittany's eyes. "We need to talk," she said. Brittany's eyes widened in fear. She had known that this might happen, but she never imagined it would be so soon. She hesitated for a moment, but then she stepped aside and let them in. Once they were inside, the woman shut the door and turned to Brittany. "Why did you sabotage my clothes?" She demanded an answer. Brittany tried to act innocent, but the evidence against her was overwhelming. She had been caught red-handed on camera. Finally, she broke down and confessed. She told the woman how she had been jealous of Kevin and how she wanted to hurt her. The woman and Kevin were shocked, but they also felt a sense of relief. Now that they knew what had happened, they could move on. The woman had been suspicious of Brittany for a while, and now her true colors were showing. She was no longer welcome in their lives. In the end, Brittany's plan backfired on her. Not only had she ruined the woman's clothes, but she had also lost her best friend. She had thought that sabotaging the woman's laundry would be a quick and easy way to get back at her, but it had ended up being her downfall. The woman and Kevin had been through a lot together, and their friendship had only grown stronger because of it. As for Brittany, she was left alone, realizing the error of her ways.